Hello everyone, I'm Crumbs and we're playing Colony Ship. We are back at Main Street and let's see our missions that we have. So the Holy Grail, travel to the habitat. It will be open in chapter 2. So I don't know when it's going to be released, but it's in the next update. Moonshine, travel to Hydroponics. Talk to Carlos, he runs Camp Reed in Hydroponics. Okay. Talk to Zeke. You found an override module for the power station. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk to him. Jonas wants you to talk to Mercy, for her fort is in Camp Town. And pick a pocket or two. Steal Samson's key. But let's go in and see what's in this church. Solomon, have you come here to find your purpose? The preacher asks, by way of welcome. Either the church has fallen on rough times or they deliberately choose a minimalistic design. The only ornamentation is an oversized metal cross wielded to the back wall. 2 deacons flank the altar, a featureless metal oblong, and look on impassively. The submachine gun cradle in their arms suggests there is a militant faith. Yeah. Walk away, or what purpose would that be? Doing the Lord's work, of course. How else would we prove our devotion to the Lord? How else would we end our trials and arrive at our destination? I don't understand what God had to do with spaceship. Amen, brother. I hear you, brother. Just tell me what needs doing. It's the defense job of saying you like to hire me to do a job. Okay, I hear you, brother. Just tell me what needs to be done. The Lord brought me here for a reason, yet despite my best efforts, only silence answers. Answer the word in this godless place. In order to sow the seed of the one true faith, I need the support of some of its more notable citizens. And you want me to talk to them. In a manner of speaking, says the preacher, one of my deacons had tried to coax the smaller fish out of the shadow of ignorance and into the light of true faith. If James McNeil and his crew were to pay the church 1/10 of what he makes from his scavenging business, people would take notice. Others would follow his example. Do you think shaking him down will make you popular? It's not a shakedown, the preacher says irritably. We are offering him a spiritual boon of serving the Lord and potentially more practice support. Such an arrangement will demonstrate that the Lord holds sway in even the darkest zones. Strength is the only language these people would understand. So what happened to your deacon? McNeil's holding him. A man of God, prisoner. I want him released. The preacher says angrily, I want restitution. Restitution. I'll see what I can do. Okay, Evans. Why are you helping him? Asked Evans when you step outside. McNeil's one of us. You would have done the same thing if some clown tried to shake you down. Down the same thing. Watch your mouth. The church can be a powerful ally. McNeil went too far. A job is a job. Unless you won't go back. Okay, so how are we going to play this? Yeah, the church could be powerful. McNeil went too far. I don't know really if he did, but we're going the right and wrongs, and the pit will be better for it. A job is a job. Okay, let's do the last one. I think it will be fine. There's other jobs. Because McNeil didn't want to pay up, I should walk away from this job? I don't think so. He got his bottom line, and I've got mine. We're involved stepping on someone's toes. If you want to make friends, you're in the wrong line of work. Shut the hell up, your job. Yeah, let's go with the middle one here. Evans, look away and spits, but lets the matter drop. Okay, so he doesn't like this. We actually have this exospine. So let's see if we can do an implant here. Install implants. Welcome to Quick 3000. Yeah, we've done this before. Accept the wave here, and we're gonna select spiner, exo spine, strength +1. Designed for the manual labor in extreme conditions, this exo spine can handle workloads far exceeding the limits of your body. The external spine can only be mounted on titanium shoulder blades, which needs to be implanted first and then jacked into the spinal cord. So no buyer remorse with this toy. Strength 1. Upgrade kits, Cocooner and Gladiator. Okay, install exo spine. Please be advised that this one implant is installed. It can't be removed without causing severe physical and nervous damage. Such actions are forbidden under Article 12 and the Employment Standard Act of 2496. Willful damage to company property. So, confirm. A steel needle pierces your spine and your whole body goes limp. Hanging like a puppet from the restraints, your consciousness linger like a ghost, an outsider watching the machine drill anchors into each of every vertebrae until at last you fall into bleeding, blessed blackness. You awake an hour later, hurting all over. Your tortured spine demands a week of bed rest, sending waves of pain throughout your body when you as much as breathe. You rest when you're dead. It's time to put that hard-earned strength to good use. Okay, so we got installed a spine and we got some strength. We also, we're gonna have this mission where we're gonna steal a key. And I don't think we are... Yeah, we are only 2. I think we need to upgrade that a little bit. And we need to practice some stealing. But first, we can upgrade this. We can add another feature. So let's go from the below here. Moving cost, sneaking increased. Yellow tiles range increased to 30. Okay. The sneaking could be a really good thing though. Because we have weapons for him. Could go the ranged weapon grace there. Now, I want to go with the sneaking here. It's fine. Do we have anything else we can upgrade? No. But we want to do some stealing, unfortunately. So let's start with steal something from the local shops here. So, how you doing? Steal, help yourself with some ammo. Boom, we got that. Browse the wares. We actually need shells. We have 32. So let's buy 18. So we have 50. Boom. We actually have a cell. Let's try that one as well, since we have one of those weapons. So let's head down here. See if we can steal something from this guy. Oh yeah, grab some merchandise. Success, browse the wares. What can we sell actually? We don't need these two. We don't need that. Trade. So let's head up here. Yeah, steal. One more and I think we will upgrade to 3. Yeah, we have enough ammo. Let's close that one. Can we steal from coal? I'm not sure. No, no stealing. No, we can't steal from that. Well, let's head over here and see what this mission is. Samson gives you a sharp look when you move next to him, clearly fighting the urge to tell you to piss off. Order a drink and put him at ease. Warn him that Gia wants to rob him. Or leave. Order a drink and put him to ease. Seeing that you're just another customer, Samson relaxes and swings his attention to one of the serving girls. Okay, we need 3 to make that work, so you couldn't get it. Okay, leave. So we have to come back for that one. Then we have talk to seek power to the people. And there is regulators, and I think there's a power station here, since Let's have a look at these guys. Transmission substation. The transmission substation, one of the local landmarks and a popular tourist attraction, or at least it would be if there were any tourists. So what's up here? Transformer. An electric transformer once intended for the future colony. It's gonna be someone else's problem one day. Okay. Okay, so what do we have here? Here's a guard. Ah, power station. Here it is. So let's head in here. Is that Seek? Yes, it is. What else do you have? Well, you have nothing of interest there. So let's talk to Seek. A thick man with an unkempt beard is attempting to beat an electronic display into submission, reminding you of bad-tempered spirit from old Earth folklore called Bear. Right now, he's stabbing the cracked screen with one blunt finger and cursing at as it repeatedly flashes red. I tried adding new transformers to the grid, he says as you approach. I ought to work, but I think this fucking thing just doesn't like me. So let me take a look. I don't really, yeah, let me take a look. We're pretty good in electronics. You bypass the on-screen protocols and attempt to force the software to accept more transformers, but no dice. The generator was intended for deployment on Proxima B, and all the operational variables are configured for the future colony. Since the OS isn't receiving input from colony-related hardware, such as mobile or extractors, probes, sniffing of metal deposits, biomass converters, and a host of other things too vital to ignore, it limits all non-essential use in the meantime. So, the grid is at max allowed capacity. You need a hard override to reset system configuration. An override module, huh? Factory bound to have something like that, if you can slip by the radars, that is. Well, actually, we found an override module. Great, you're a real lifesaver, Crumbs. After turning the module over in his hands a couple of times, Zeke plugs it into one of his empty slots. In response, the OS flashes a warning, and the screen briefly goes dark before columns and columns of data begin scrolling past. Almost too quickly to follow, details such as megawatt power, allocations, operating reserves, voltage, reactants, thermals, and a few dozen other stats appear and disappear, all expressed in the arcane symbols and terminology of old Earth. It's also just the secret language of alchemists or some other ancient cults. Work your magic. A generator big enough to power the future colony and keep its essential system running for decades. This complex machine with countless internal relationships. Several values start to blink, a monotonous demand for your attention. You tinker with it a little, but changing one variable has a cascading effect on system stability. Before you know it, the entire board is flashing angrily at you. So reconfigure the generator. We don't have two in computers, so reconfigure the generator. By painstakingly adjusting the voltage control, resistance, and reactance value, you bring system stability within accepted tolerances. Solve the overload puzzle and magically bring the operating power reserve into the green. At that point, you're ready to run a stress test, and the generator roared to life without a hiccup. Oh, never would have guessed it was that easy, says Zeke from behind your shoulder. Leave. Okay, so we got some electronic skill increased there. So we could go for McNeil, but I think I want to go to the hydroponics. We haven't been there yet, so let's open up the map, and we have the hydroponics here, so let's go. The hydroponic division was originally conceived to adapt terrain plants to the anticipated environment of Proxima Centauri. Extensive gene editing was employed to develop resistance to alien fungi and pests, and accelerated adaptation hacked into the plant's genetic code. Like many other critical systems, hydroponics was abandoned during the mutiny. The carefully cultivated flora and fauna was left to its own in harsh environments designed to propagate rapid and brutal evolutionary cycles. When men returned to reclaim hydroponics, they discovered an environment as wild and hostile as any Earth jungle. So let's explore. So what do we got here? Okay. Ooh. There is 1, 2 towers. There is a third. And a fourth that is not that tall. So let's explore. We can't, yeah, it's blocked there. So I guess we're heading over here. What do we have? We have 2 guards. Let's just get inside. We have another guard and go down. So there's an elevator there. There is a medic machine to heal. Get heal, I guess. So let's talk to Carlos. A bald man wearing a gas mask gestures you to approach. Where you can see it, his skin is pockmarked and slack from prolonged exposure to antifungal chemicals. You are guessing the environment isn't great for hair either. Welcome to Camp Reed, he says, removing the gas mask with a sigh of relief. I'm Carlos Manet. Camp Reed, should we ask about that? Yeah. As in Summer Reed, Carlos say, the man who led the first expedition. When we finally hacked our way into this tower, he dubbed it Camp Reed. We all thought it was the first step toward reclaiming hydroponics entire. Yet here we are 3 years later and we moved no further. What's holding you back? Plants were sacred to the founding fathers, represent our connection to Mother Earth, our sustenance and our future. Picture rippling fields of wheat, rye and barley to the horizon, mighty oaks and cedars, children eating apples right from the tree. That was the vision for Proxima. But they didn't anticipate how many seedlings would fall in the ship's simulated environments, and unless they found a way to make good those losses, it would be catastrophic. What about the native plants on Proxima? Let's start with that. It would be catastrophic. Carlos nods. Alien fauna and poor soil were deemed the biggest threats, so they matched the most important plant species with customized symbiont fungi. The latter were meant to act as pest killers. Unfortunately, the fungus did its job a little too well. We're the pests now. What about the native plants on Proxima? Have you seen any? Never. Neither have I. Maybe they have their own apple and oranges? Not that I've seen one of those either, but that's much more likely is they contain organic compounds we can't digest. Then what? So what happened to Reed? He died 3 days after stalking his claim along with the rest of the expedition. Reed had brought some fancy poison that should have killed any kind of fungal threat instantly, and it almost worked. I guess you could call that Reed's epitaph. The thing played dead for 3 days, metaphorically licking its wounds and literally evolving its cellular composition. Then it struck back. Where did this super fungus come from in the first place? Same place as our ancestors. It was one of the original passenger. Fungi are very, very versatile. They have all kind of useful and dangerous properties. The plan was to wipe out whatever local fungi we found on Proxima and replace it with our own earthborn varieties to support our crops with nutrients and protect them from disease, the environment, etc. They ran the earth fungal cultures through hundreds of mutation cycles to make sure it would survive in alien soil. There were safeguards, but those required active cultivation by our botanists to work, and the mutiny threw all that right out of the window. Now the fungus is doing what it was designed to do: kill any creature that threatens the plants and decompose the resulting organic matter into nutrients. So what are we planning to do? We can't defeat the fungus. It adapts to anything we throw at it, and every time it mutates to counter our efforts. We need to change our protective equipment and protocols, which takes time and costs lives. The other two zones are lost, but we're doing our best to hang on to this one. Our new chemical agents don't attack the fungus directly, but prevent it from spreading. Stopping it without a direct challenge has been our best strategy so far. Why hasn't it spread beyond the hydroponics? There are built-in safeguards, different for each zone. The highest concentration of the fungus is in the red zone. You won't last 10 seconds there. Yellow zone is a bit more hospitable, and if you have the right gear, this is the green zone, as friendly as it gets. There has to be a way to kill the fungus. There is not in the red zone. Okay, back to business at hand. Boone sent me to pick up his allergy. There's nothing in stock right now. The bioreactor is down again, so I can't do anything for you until we get it up and running. Of course, if you're willing to lend a hand, how can I help? We need more parts. Everything in the vicinity has been stripped bare, except he turns to look meaningfully at the ruins of Alpha Tower. Once the hydroponic tower all stretched from floor to ceiling, while the lower section of Alpha Tower was destroyed during the mutiny, the upper half still clings stubbornly to the ceiling like a big metal stalactite. An ancient and not especially trustworthy looking walkway connects the stub to a nearby tower. I give it a shot, but don't hold your breath. Do you have any work that doesn't require acrobatics? Well, we do have a dispute with a fellow named Morgan, Carlos says reluctantly. We hired him and his crew to clear one of the towers from wildlife, but now refusing to hand it over. I assume all options are on the table. We'd prefer if the situation were solved, and basically, Carlos says carefully, but one way or another we need to reclaim the tower. I'll see what I can do. Okay, so let's go down. And we are, what do we got here? Okay, so it looks like some sort of living quarters with beds and all that. What is that? Okay, there's an elevator there. So let's open the door and get to the elevator. Please select the floor. Okay, third floor living quarters. That's where we are now. So let's go down to the second floor, a cultivation lab. What do we have here? We got someone working, and we got Mariam. A woman inspects a test tube with green algae and frowns, making a quick note in her data pad. Any problems? The toxicity is well within acceptable parameters, but we keep an eye on it just in case. Can't be too careful with the AA strains. She gives you a quick smile as if to reassure you that everything is under control. The AA strains? Accelerated adaptation. In plain language, it means that the new traits develop almost instantly. Weeks for unicellular organisms like green algae. Years for more complex organisms, decades for humans, evolution on steroids. Do you mean mutants who play God? So we play God. We don't know what awaits us at the end of our journey. We know that Proxima is mostly arid, but that doesn't tell us much. Some arid lands on old Earth were arable, others are long dead. We'll have to fight the war for survival, a war for our food supplies, and we need the right weapons to win it. What if the soil is too acidic? The soil nutrient content too low, contaminated water, invasive pests? We can't waste precious time trying to solve these problems while our crops are dying, when we can do it in simulated scenarios during the voyage. What's with all the frogs in the area? Frogs are keystone species, explains the woman. As they excel at pest control, thus they were chosen for the program along with the others. Of course, evolution doesn't work on demand, so many experiments have failed one way or another, but we all needed was a few champions to secure a foothold in Proxima ecosystem, and now we have them. If they won't eat us before we get there, though they ran to a frog with some kind of psionic ability. I read the early reports, nods the woman. They are not encouraging. Perhaps something's changed. Could you get me a sample to run a few tests? I don't need the whole thing, just the brain. Yeah, we actually have a brain. Give her the frog's brain. Interesting. Interesting development. Fairly recent too, I say. Let me take a closer look. She rummaged through her kit, finishing an old scanner and a couple of spare batteries that still hold a charge. Wait for the test results. You were right. This odd little frog is capable of projecting psionic waves and intimidate and confuse intruders. It doesn't go beyond that, but the implications are interesting. I'd like to do another test, if you're willing, says the woman, offering you a small syringe. It should make you less susceptible to outside influences. Well, okay, let's volunteer. I doubt this small dose will produce any side effects, but if you continue with the injections for the next 3 months, who knows what might happen. She adds almost eagerly. Crumbs received the first dose. Neural resistance is increased by 10. Okay, continue with the injections. I need a fresh specimen. It shouldn't be hard to acquire them, I think. Okay, so I guess we're gonna go out and find some frogs. You seem to be handy with computers. Anything you can teach me? Ah, look at that. Miriam hesitates for a moment, then shrugs as she's saying, why not? The software isn't old and harsh and hasn't been updated since we left Earth. It's a miracle it's still running. Let me show you how we handle the most common problems. You gain some insight into computers and operating system, mankind's ancient enemy. So, we learned some computer things there. Let's head down to the first floor, the storage. Okay, and there is nothing there. Here's the entrance. Okay, guys, I think this is a good place to make a cut here, and let's continue the next episode and see if we can find us some fresh specimen of frog brain. So, thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.